So hello YouTube to the second leg of Flix against Arminius. Flix was player 1, or is player 1 rather, and the picks and bans are as follows. Arminius banned 3rd Fallschirmjäger, 5th Gebirgsjäger, 1st Fallschirmjäger, 8th Indian, Premier DFL. Flix banned 17th SS, 4th Fallschirmjäger, Task Force 45, 26th Guards and 44th. 26th is the one that Arminius played in the previous game. And on the right hand side we've got Flix playing 2nd Indianhead, left hand side Nonchalant playing with Lovas. And there are lots of people in the chat already, so thank you very much for that. I know Vulcan is also streaming, so it's a bit of bad timing, but you know, they need to play when they've got the time, and it's a different type of content. It's a Div 3 league match, second leg. Flix still first place in his group, and yeah, but Arminius is you know, going after him. Yeah, here are the Turan tanks, and as you can see, they're more like a bit squishy with 50mm front armor, not super fast. And on this map, Haroshaje, there's usually lots of city fighting obviously going on, and off maps and the likes. Quite open as well. You really need to know in which house you want to put your units. This helps a lot. And on this side, the blue player is usually expected to push for this flag because it takes some time to reinforce. But as we can see here, Nonchalant is not pushing for this flag. Even if you can only hold it for a short amount of time, maybe, and you know, don't send lots of troops, you can usually actually capture it. Unfortunately, we can't yet see the orders, the movement orders, but what we can see is that Nonchalant means business in this town. On the other hand, also Flix here, flamethrowers, M1 guns. That's a really cool gun for shorter ranges. 1M4A1, already a Bofors with the deployment points. That's an interesting call and something Flix usually doesn't do. Rifles, and there's also rifles, early rifles in the half tracks. Not much deployment here, I guess. I will kind of go to these houses here, and very, very light deployment so far in the north. But there's a Ranger Marauder, so he can fight off some tanks as well. Yeah, and Vincent mentions there in the chat that on Flix's side the small road is much better for the city than the big one, and the small one is this one. Yeah, this seems quite long in order to actually get into here. I think this is the shorter way. But in one of my league matches, I actually didn't even see the deployment road I could use on the very left side, because it was out of zoom kind of. So I was zoomed like this, and it's a map I usually play on the other side, so I didn't see the road. But luckily I won nevertheless, so I got lucky. Yeah, it was very unfortunate for me. It was stupid. I think, what was the map? It's the one, I think it was Bobra with the river in the middle, and then I was on the side where you've got the hill looking down on the village, and there's this deployment road, also like a dirt road on the very left side. And because I've got a huge screen, or kind of, well, it's not 4K, but in between, but I was so zoomed in a way that I couldn't see the land. But the game has started, both on Maverick, And let's take a quick look at where they are going to. Very aggressive deployment here, and there's an off map here by Arminius with a more defensive deployment. This is aggressive play here with just one card. That's cool to see. Obviously Flix knows this and is already prepared to counter. The defensive deployment here, and yeah, and also up here in the north, that's a defensive deployment and an aggressive deployment by Flix actually. But this is where the action will take place. And the question is, how far will Flix push in? He will push in quite a bit. Maybe he was expecting an early plane off map, and that's why he brought the Bofors. Oh, and down goes the fort. Oh, this is painful. Another fort. This has already paid off, I think. All these units get pinned down. The heavy HMG goes down, and basically, yeah, this is a very unfortunate start with all those units being lost. The M8 here is clearing out the forest. Yeah. Also, Vincent says great off map. I fully agree. This off map was well timed and yeah, just well played. Also enough time for the Turans. They are not super fast. And in comes a P-38J, super fast plane, taking out some of the units here. Now, obviously, with the half track, he can rush forward a little bit. I will turn down the volume a tiny little bit. I think it might be a bit too loud. Okay. Yeah, it could have gone very wrong indeed. I don't know how much the off-map plane is, how many points, but yeah, it was a risk. Arminius' deployment was actually put in a way that he would at least not hit his own troops. 125 points, thanks a lot, Kias. So that's a costly investment. But here we've got the Bofors, 80 points I believe, and it hasn't, yeah, 90 even, and it hasn't done anything yet. But Flix was prepared for the push here, so he countered it well. The Turans, this is like the prime spot. On this map I'm usually on this side by chance, I don't know why. So I also try to put some units in here. Now I can see how it's done right. Bring enough units. The Turan goes down to the M4A1. 90mm front armor. And yeah, it won't get penned by the Turans. So this is actually a fantastic counter. And just by looking at the map, it's actually hard to tell that Flix suffered such a great loss that early in the game. One of the strengths of the Lovas is that they've got those beefy 16-man Husha squads. And up here in the north, the push was kind of successful. Yeah, Onat says he didn't lose that many units. Yeah, he lost, I think he lost his HMG and 2 forts. So 3 in total. Plus everyone kind of retreated a little bit. Yeah, so it could actually have gone much worse. Yeah, that's true. And he's still contesting the border, or the center of the off map is still being contested by Flix. Yeah, and he's now even pushing. He's got a very cheeky M8 over here. Will it get the kill? It might. Oh, missed. Will he unload? The Toldi is here. Okay, now he changed the target automatically to the more threatening target, which is the Toldi 2A. Who's going to win this? I think it looks like the Toldi is going to win this engagement. Yeah, Onat says it was a time loss but not a big unit loss, and that's actually correct. And his best units that can easily contest the Turans are still here. He really nicely countered the push in the south. And Arminius doesn't really know what's sitting in the forest. It could be a lot, it could be not that much. Really good placement of the Ranger Marauder, I think. Yeah, everything that goes past will get killed. And now there's Flix's off map. 203mm, 140 points investment. Can be used with as a radio unit later on. Oh, this Lovas might go down. It will, yeah, down it goes, in the truck. Really good micro to switch off the, or to put it to return fire so it doesn't get spotted. Yes, Flix is actually opening the entire south. There's nothing really. It's a Ranger and the Ranger Marauder to protect it here a little bit. It's a high risk play here in the south. Now off map and mortar coming in. Most of the battle is taking place here and there's no unit movements in the north. No movements here in the south. Flix also holding this flag with engineers. Yeah, let's take a look at the Ranger Marauders. I think he might have, I can't really see if it's deactivated, but it's only 100-meter range. So with the bazooka here with the Ranger Marauder, he definitely laid a trap, because look at this. This is a bit more than 250 meters though, but if a heavy unit comes in here or trucks, the Ranger Marauders will kill them. And the same here in the north. It's just for units that get past here that get shot down, like a tank going in or something like that. And then these units are just to irritate Arminius, I think. It's not a proper push. The proper push is taking place here. Now the off map went down, lots of suppression, and Flix is pushing. He lost an M4A1, there were two before, and here you can see his, but there's the replacement. And there is the good AA play by Flix. He moved his Bofors forward because the front line moved forward, so he followed suit with his Bofors, but now he's moving it back a little bit because the front is collapsing a little bit, or it's kind of like shifting back and forth. What did he shell here? Maybe the house. And it's just one engineer holding the flag, giving Flix the lead. And now Arminius does the right thing. There are problems in the center, so he should put some forces, commit some forces to another location to get the momentum and apply some pressure. He's also moving forward with his Toldi, because I think he's really annoyed by this engineer. But the Schwarzlose will go down to the engineer. Nothing happening in the north. The M1 gun's still guarding the road here. That's from the initial deployment. Two Turans, there were, and one Turan leader. There were so many Turans. They have all vanished. And I do think that the half tracks seem like a super hard counter against the Hussars because they don't have AT capabilities. And now he's even attacking despite the Turans being present. He unloads on time. There's a Haroshaje with AT though, but falling back now. 1410 for Flix, nothing happening in the north and nothing happening in the south. He just resupplied or reinforced the front line to not lose this flag. And now very offensive mortar. This is the variant that comes with the 50 cal. Yeah, and it's obviously a good call against in a city fight to bring some mortars. There's another mortar here. It's 1.8 kilometer range. Really good mortar as well for a small price. And now double off map by Arminius. And this will be the screenshot for the YouTube video, I think. Or at least potentially, we'll see. It's a bit too much of a spoiler here. Nothing happening in the north. Mortar starts firing at the spot of the M40M. So he knows where it is. It's got 180 millimeter penetration. And both are falling back now. Does he have eyes on them? No. The rangers here actually don't see anything. And there is the double off map. And he will try to push in with all these units. And there's Flix's off map, so this is off map galore. Flix still holding a 14-10 lead, now reinforcing the south with an M8, 2 early rifles, and even a Sherman. Now he means business in the south as well, and he should be able to break through with this unit composition, in particular with the Ranger against the Lovas. There's a fighter bomber going for the Lovas here in the open ground. Yeah, dropping some models, and very smart to put that on return fire, but now it's on shooting us again. And there's another bomber here, fighter bomber killing the leader. The off map killed some units here, the off map killed some units here. This is yeah, lots of dead units. Mortar fire. Rangers arriving at the scene. Still lots of units, but yeah, will he use them to try to get some surrenders? But there's a Turan here, and the leader as well, so they won't surrender. Rangers LMG are a pretty decent unit with 2 Brownings. Another double off map here by Arminius, 105 millimeters, so he has 3 charges at least, I think 3. Nothing happening in the north, but there's a push in the south. First unit went down already. There are now half tracks here as well, attacking from both angles. Lovas go down, Haroshaje go down, and Flix manages to capture this flag, and he can actually push through. But there's a Jagdpanzer 38T, German Jagdpanzer here in the Hungarian division, and one of the key tools in order to, kill those Shermans. Front armor is 105 millimeter, so the Sherman with only 90 millimeter penetration won't pan it. Now the off map is forcing those units to fall back. Very offensive engineers here on return fire. Good artillery use. Both mortars are still alive. And there comes the Jagdpanzer together with the Recon vehicle. It's minute 15. Another double off map. But there are actually not that many units. And there's a defense beacon on the Nimrod. They are really good also in an anti-infantry role and even a light anti-tank role for heat shells, AP shells. Yeah, 75 millimeter penetration. Another ping somewhere. maybe a more accurate one now. Second ping here. Now let's use this actually. For the YouTube thumbnail. Yeah, this is like a crater on the moon. Yeah, Mr. Alert says it can still paint at closer range. Yeah, possibly true, at very close range. And from the sides, obviously, for sure. How many Jagdpanzers do Lovas get? It's 1 card of Jagdpanzers. So if he brings them in B phase, it depends on the veterancy, but it should be, I'm not quite sure. I think it should be 6. Maybe, did he bring them? He brought them, seems he brought them unvetted. Might be 9 then even. He's pushing forward now, and yeah. He has called in 4 or 5 already, yeah, that's true. There's another one appearing on the scene. There's 1 Jagdpanzer here, 1 Jagdpanzer here, 3, 4, 5 Jagdpanzers are currently still alive and on the battlefield. And yeah, the question, this Sherman is just waiting to get a side shot. Because my guess is that Flix knows that he will come with Jagdpanzers, obviously. Only 13-11, the rifles late go down to the bomber. More reinforcements are being called in. Nothing happening in the north, nothing at all. And Flix strongly reinforcing the center, but it's back to a 12-12. I think Flix wants to win back this flag with his Rhino. Kier says Novat, the Jagdpanzer card has 8. Comes with 8 units, so thanks a lot for that. And yeah, the 6th Jagdpanzer is arriving on the scene. Dirty Hetzer spam, yeah. So will Lovas struggle with M4s when those are exhausted? Yes, because he only has those Turans, and I think he might have run out of them, and they won't. They will have difficult times to pen them. And there are 2 more. That should be the last 2 Jagdpanzers. Nothing happening in the north. The off map is now, I think it's now being used as an observer and to provide radio for the mortar and for the long term. 105mm piece of art. And there's even the xylophone, kind of like the artillery off map. Yeah, X-Stark says 2 cards of Pack 40, and Mr. Lot adds that they're not that great in the city. Yeah, Le Mans gets his big guns, that's true. And yeah, the engineers surrender, but there's still the tank will kill the Roma Kajak. Yeah, and I think that Arminius does the right thing again, because he notices there are some problems in the center, and also he lost a flag in the south, so possibly there are not that many units owned by Flix in the north, so he sends something in. Yeah, and last time there was no B4, but now we get the long term. And the xylophone. Now the Shermans or the M4A1 Rhinos with they have 120mm front armor. They excel in infantry, so in an infantry support role, so they are kind of really good for city fights or close range fights. And they have, in comparison to the T-34s, they've got the advantage of the stabilizers. And yeah, I show you the long tom, and we are about to get a shot. Okay, I think this was so much desired, I will use this for YouTube. Come on, shoot again. It's just one shot every 10 hours. Now the xylophone is shooting as well. And Long Tom is about to shoot yet again. Bang! Yeah, and there's already the supply unit. As you can see, Flix doesn't like to bring his artillery with ammunition, because he's got the point of view that they need to deserve extra ammunition first and work for them. Yeah, Honor thinks it's GG. Yeah, it's 17-7. The push here could not be repelled. Flix commanding the central town. Now there are Turans coming. The Jagdpanzer trying to hold here. And in the north, the counter push did not yet play out. Yeah, the two Rangers will be difficult to deal with. And I think Flix, in an emergency case, will just use his smoke. But now actually, because it's a recon unit, if Flix doesn't control this flag. But there come the reinforcements. It's still 17-7 despite losing this flag. And also he's reinforcing the south. There's a bomber coming in again. Where's this ammunition truck going here? Not sure why. Maybe to resupply the tank destroyer. And basically there's nothing blue left in here. And Lem says, look at those cheeky M3s holding that flag. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good play here with the half tracks. There's a Jagdpanzer now, but it's kind of, it's supposed to be hidden and hunt, but it's going to go into kind of CQC. And there's a Rhino as well. Lots of infantry coming in. There's the cluster bomber that I think Chaos mentioned earlier, but it even goes down to the AA, and the long term shooting and shooting. What is he shooting at? It's basically the remainders of what was once a proud army holding the city. Another fighter bomber. Flix can now afford to invest in air and to help mop up the Hungarian troops. But it's 19-5, 1 minute left. But Arminius hasn't given up yet. In the north, he's trying to counter push. He's got 2 units here, but this Ranger and this cheeky M3 are holding everything. Yeah, Vincent says already, well played by Flix. Yeah, this very GG. He's not even moving his Turans forward any longer. Yeah, usually the game is decided in the town, and Flix here kept the upper hand more or less and the initiative the whole time. But for the beginning, where he actually didn't lose that much, it was very shocking to see. But yeah, and a well-placed off-map as well, but the impact was nothing he couldn't bounce back from. Turan moving forward, units pinned down here, but there's only one flag and it's 18-6, 5 seconds left. This is the GG. Yeah, congratulations to Flix for winning the second leg after losing the first one, and commiserations to Arminius, who put up a great fight as well. Let's look at the statistics. Yeah, you can really see that Flix was dominating this game and traded better. He just didn't lose that much most of the time. The initial off map killed 2 flamethrowers and 1 HMG, so not that much. That's the chronology here of the kills. Yeah, here was a period where Arminius lost lots of units in a row, also here, including a Jagdpanzer. This is the cluster bomber that went down. Kills, what are the hero units? Definitely the Sherman here. Must have been one of the first Shermans on the scene in the town when Arminius opened with lots of Sherman, with lots of Turans. The 233mm off map did get some kills. Tank destroyer taking out 2 Jagdpanzers. The Rhino did a good job. The Ranger Marauder here stopped 3 Turans. And let's take a look at the hero units commanded by Arminius. This Haroshaje a little bit. This Jagdpanzer did a good job taking out 2 Shermans. This Jagdpanzer did a decent job. Yeah, but as you can see, I don't have to scroll that much. So, really good trades by, well traded by Flix. Yeah, Vincent thinks that's the Marauder in the north. Yeah, that's possible. The one that was sitting there just next to the road, and those Rangers are deadly with their bazooka, and they are good stealth, very exceptional stealth, I should say. Yeah, so let's take a look at the. Can we do that? No, the player profiles, I can't access them. Oh, I can. So Arminius, I think this was reset after burning of the Baltics. So he's got a fantastic victory ratio of 57% in multiplayer, and played more than 1200 games. That's quite impressive. And Flix, I can't access, I don't know why. Yeah, so really good game. Let me see if one of them wrote something in the Discord. So this actually means that Flix defended the first place. And in the group. And yeah, let's see how it plays out. And I think they will both go to the playoffs. I think that first and second place go to the playoffs. So thanks a lot for watching. Let us check if we can. I will end the YouTube now. Thanks a lot, YouTube.